We're joined now for a brief discussion by artist Christian Furr and artist and lecturer Team Beck. Nice to see you both. Thanks a lot for coming in. Did you see David Dimbleby's series?
Yes,
it finished last night, and it just involved loads and loads and loads of beautiful portraits of the English and British landscape. Now, the thing about portraits and landscapes and stuff is that you might not like them all, but you get them all.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're looking at, and you can make an assessment of it. The thing about this kind of art, just speaking for myself, is that I get some of it. Like I love the chair and the table in Hampstead Heath. I think they look absolutely fantastic. But I don't get much of what we saw just then.
Right.
So does that mean to me it's not art?
Well, you don't necessarily have to understand it. I think, you know, part of art is creating conversation and getting people to talk about things and ideas. And this kind of work is about creating conversation and stuff like that. And I thought the great thing about it was that it involved people that wouldn't normally get involved with art, and they got a chance to be artists themselves, so they could say...
They all thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, they had a piece
just
of
because they had
tape
a good time
themselves.
doesn't mean... I mean, I can send when their kids were younger, we could send them on a treasure hunt at a party, and they'd come back with loads of different objects, and we'd all look at them and have a laugh. Is that art?
It might not be art, but here it was art because there was artists. Yes, because the artist called it art, and also I think that it was really interactive, and that's what art is about: is trying to engage you, trying to see what it's about, try to get you involved with the art scene. And this was, I think people had lots of fun.
Yeah.
Some people was there to win the money, I heard.
I think so.
But there was also nice references to other artists' work. There was the Duchamp that you mentioned, and that was one of the clues. Clue number 100 said, "You're taking the piss," and someone actually brought back a urinal. And I thought that was a lovely reference, and in that sense really educational. There was loads of references to other pieces of artwork.
Well, if we look at what Richard was talking about earlier, the writer, you know, that fantastic thing on Hampstead Heath. I mean, I think it's brilliant. But the reason I think it's brilliant is because it's so out of context. And it's witty, it makes me smile.
Exactly,
you know?
it's quite quirky.
Yeah.
The guy who did it wanted people to use it, which is very important with public art. He wanted people to bring their own thing to the table, no pun intended, but you know, you could use that as a goalposts or anything like that, and it involves people.
He calls it the writer, doesn't he? Because, and by plonking it in the middle of Hampstead Heath, surrounded by grass and trees and nothing else, that kind of symbolises the isolation of a writer.
Yeah, it's almost like...
It's very clever.
Definitely about that. But I also think you should go see it because it's really large, it's very big. So I think it has that aim for you to experience it, to feel your size, my body here, to actually have that sensory experience of actually going and seeing it.
And because it's
that's
outside
important as well.
But you see, it strikes me, as Judy said, that piece is designed to sort of amuse us and entertain us. What about the running tap, the sort of gallery in London, which has infuriated a lot of people around here? Because we're facing a hosepipe ban. Now, I know that one running tap, compared to the water that's lost by our wonderful water authorities, is nothing. That is meant to symbolic the waste of water and the loss of water, but it's kind of deliberately in your face, isn't it?
I think he's deliberately courting controversy, but it doesn't make it any less a piece of art, because at the end of the day, an artist has come and done this, and then he's decided to say, this is art, not what I'm doing.
But you seem to be saying then, you see, because any one of us could go upstairs, turn on the tap, walk away and say, there we are, that's my latest work.
You could do that.
I know,
and then you would be an artist.
But it's rubbish. But that's rubbish. If I do that, I'm not an artist.
It's not my cup of tea.
Pretentious beyond belief, aren't I?
You should have the freedom to be able to do that, even if you disagree with it.
But wouldn't I be being incredibly pretentious if I turned on my bathroom tap and said, Judy, come and look at this, my latest piece of work? I mean, I'd be an idiot, wouldn't I?
Not necessarily. No? I mean, I think you have to separate it. That is it art or is it good art? I mean, you obviously don't like this piece of art, but I think it's definitely a piece of art. And I think that it's a piece of art, even that we are talking about it now. Everybody is talking about this piece of art, so he's really done something in that. He's
but I could fart
something.
in public, and that wouldn't be a piece of art, would it? I'd just be offending people.
Probably not if you just walked down the street and nobody was recording it. But if the artist says it's a piece of art, I think it is.
Well, look, let's look at some good art now. Installation art, which is Anthony Gormley's fantastic piece in Merseyside.
Fantastic.
And it's kind of, you can see what they are. I mean,
it's called Another Place, isn't it?
He is such a genius, that man. And it's just naked figures, and there are several of them. I don't know how many there are, actually.
Oh, there's more than several. There's a lot.
Well, several means a lot.
No, there's a lot more than several then. And they gradually go out into onto the coastline, and like I suppose you would say all art of this kind, it interacts with its environment, so it changes as the tide comes in.
Exactly.
They slowly disappear from view.
And because it was in Liverpool, we've had people already putting scarves and hats and things like that, and adding their own little, you know,
absolutely
thing to the piece, which is what art's about. Public art is about.
See, that's fantastic, but I can see that as works as an installation for me, just like the chair.
You're not moving off this.
What?
You know, you said there were several.
Yeah.
It's 100.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
There is 100.
Judy. Actually, you've got to be, just a little word to people around that area. It is a little bit dangerous. 3 girls got stuck in the mud, literally up there the weekend, had to be hauled out by the rescue services. So do watch the tide tables and don't go down when the tide's coming in. You can get stuck.
But, I mean,
it makes you look at nature as well, because it's pieces that we'd normally see in a gallery space. Suddenly it's outside, you see the changing light, changing moods of the weather.
But that, to me, that just makes
I think
a
it's
difference.
beautiful. I think that's a beautiful piece.
Can I tap
Yeah,
word,
go on.
please? That table and chair in Hampstead Heath, Anthony Gormley's figures in Merseyside, they are good. I mean, they are. That's what I would call.
I personally think you should be inspired by art. You should come away from it and feel inspired, and it should inspire you to do something. So that's what I look for in a piece of art.
Do we have your purple membrane to show? Can we have a look at it? I love this. This is a piece of yours. This is at a swimming pool.
It's at a swimming pool at Camberwell Arts Festival, who also actually last year, the guy who did the running water was doing an installation there.
Right.
But my installation was about creating a fog, a membrane over the pool that was then lit with a purple light, and as it got darker outside, it got more and more purple inside, so it was really time-related and very organic.
And you could swim, people
could
swim
swim in it, and there was literally people queuing to get in, and it was like, I swam at the end, and it was like swimming in a dream.
Yeah.
And it had that sort of really ephemeral...
Like a magical quality.
Yeah, and
Very
it turned out really beautiful. It was really sort of...
Oh, nice piece.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Great.
Well, you
Thank
can't like
very
everything,
much.
can you? That's what it boils down to.
Well, in your case, not a lot.
I liked everything except the stupid running tap. And what was the other thing I didn't like?
You didn't think much of the exhibition.
Well, I'm not sure it was art. It was fun. I'm not sure it was art. Anyway.
Yeah.